Georgetown University report finds Joe Biden's free public college plan would pay off within 10 years. Pays for itself in 10 years, will positively impact the country for generations to come. This is a no-brainer. I'm from a state that has free community college and it was awesome and absolutely works great. All you had to do was maintain your GPA to at least a 2.0 and have 24 hours of community service per semester, and your 2-year degree is absolutely free. I got my associates while taking my core classes, then transferred to a 4-year university where I finished up and got my bachelor's with significant less debt than some of my peers. Plus it's a great way for everyone in the state to at least get a 2-year degree despite your background. And I'm from the socialist wasteland known as Tennessee. I'd love to see a federal program that allows students the ability to consolidate all their loans at a low or zero interest rate. I'm sure if passed, Republicans will work tirelessly to weaken it, repeal it, and use that as proof to show the ineffectiveness of Democratic leadership while simultaneously somehow enriching themselves. And this country is stupid enough to eat that slop up all over again. Anyone who cares about his country would want as many educated citizens as possible. Free college entirely would be cheaper than many military budget increases from the past few years. Republicans don't want this. A less educated population is more likely to vote conservative. This is all boiled down to one of the oldest sayings: a herd of buffalo can only move as fast as the slowest buffalo. The more we lift up those at the bottom, the better and stronger we are at the top. There's so much potential that is left untapped because many young people run into an economic wall that says if you can't afford X amount you don't get Y education. I wish valuing education wasn't considered so radical in the US. The problem with a 10-year plan is that in 2 to 6 years a Republican could fuck it up. As someone who ate thousands of shit sandwiches in the Navy so that I could go to college, it doesn't upset me in the least to think that other people might also get an opportunity for a decent life. At this point, college is almost looked at like high school in many career fields, where it isn't even a plus, it's just the bare minimum. Just because you aren't born to rich parents doesn't mean you shouldn't get good opportunities. The founding fathers were big fans of general welfare, and this seems like general welfare to me. Do the healthcare system next. Yeah, free college and domestic spending is cool, but what about a new military jet that costs $1 trillion? Now that's the American way. /S. Relevant section. Researchers estimate that Biden's college plan would cost $49.6 billion, roughly $8.6 billion less than it would cost if the plan did not have the $125,000 income limit during the first year, and that the benefits of the plan would outweigh the costs due to an increase in earnings and tax revenue within 10 years. The team at Georgetown estimates that after 11 years, the Biden initiative would cost $73 billion per year, but would be completely offset by the associated increase in tax revenue to a whopping $186.8 billion as workers earn more due to their advanced education and training. Basically, the analysis claims that the ROI for increased economic output from people working better jobs will eventually outpace the cost of the program around year 8 and pay for itself fully by year 10. Important to note, it does make the assumption that people who obtain these degrees will work better jobs with a higher salary and therefore contribute more back to the federal government via taxes. The system doesn't pay for itself if good jobs aren't available in the economy. The problem is certain political parties don't poll well with college-educated workers. Weird. An intelligent and educated society would prosper. We fucking needs this. We need education to be more accessible in this country to avoid Trump-like cults. These people need to be properly educated, and access to that should be easy and free. Fuck. I don't care if it took 100. It's worth it. Asking this in earnest. Why should it be limited to just households under $125,000 when there is absolutely no obligation for parents making more than that to pay tuition for their children going to college? My parents made more than this, and it hurt me every year with FAFSA and is a huge reason why I have a significant amount of student loan debt, as they did not pay for my tuition. My sister looks like she will be on the same path going into college. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. It cannot be understated that education helps a country thrive, yet here we are with hands in our dicks, talking about money as if the needs of a few billionaires outweigh the country's. The team at Georgetown estimates that after 11 years, the Biden initiative would cost $73 billion per year, but would be completely offset by the associated increase in tax revenue to a whopping $186.8 billion as workers earn more due to their advanced education and training. But what if there isn't demand for those jobs? That's great, and maybe they will consider doing something for all the middle-aged people with unsustainable student loan debt. I always hate bringing this up, but the only reason conservatives are against taxpayer-funded university and universal health care are because those are two big reasons to join the military. They are major recruiting tools. Since most veterans lean conservative, they pander to that audience. Their stubbornness has nothing to do with money or morality. Tuition-free university would be nice, but honestly I'd be happy with affordable. You've probably heard the boomers pontificating about how back in their day they worked their asses off flipping burgers 30 hours a week and graduated college with zero debt. Great. Can we get back to that? It would be really nice if we had the option of either working while enrolled to pay tuition, or graduating with a manageable amount of debt that doesn't cripple us for 20 years afterwards. How exactly does it get paid off? Projected economic growth from more contributing citizens, taxes, etc. Does it describe how in the article? Just curious, not trying to question the validity. This could be dangerous. Think of how many educated people there'd be. How will that pay for your football programs pretending to be schools? I hope to see a better country and world in the coming years. Trump will be gone, Turtle will collapse in on himself and Rush Limbaugh's will be dead. The darkness will leave. There will be a new dawn. People will be happy to live and work in this country again. And it will be good. Listen, this is nothing new. Call it socialism, call it whatever you want, proven over and over again. The more educated your country is, the better off it is. The more money you take from education to balance your budget, the more in debt you will become. That's too long for short-term profits-only Republicans. It's amazing, when Bernie Sanders talked about doing this he was laughed at by the DNC. It basically extends public schooling from 12 years to 14, with the last two optional. Seems like a good idea, so it doesn't have a chance. I didn't get to go to college and started working right out of high school. I really hope this works out so that I can work up the courage to try sometime. I'm curious, would this apply to any person seeking a degree or only first-timers? I have a useless BA and desperately want to go back to school for a different field. Getting that for free would help me immensely. But then after 4 to 8 years a Republican president will come along and fuck things up again, claiming Biden's plan put the country in more debt. I'm down for that. We need to invest in education for all, healthcare for all, and a justice system that is fair to all. Sounds like something poor white Americans will be strongly opposed to, but we can't afford to have debt-free smart people. Clearly fake. It doesn't align with my views, therefore it must be fake news.